Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ybot. Welcome back to Angusburg. We're continuing pretty much exactly where we left off with this city. We just finished this major crossing last time, and I was trying to think of what I want to do next with this city. There's quite a few obvious things that are incomplete here. Like this, I want to be able to get these two rail lines to go across underneath the highway, underneath this interchange here. However, there's nothing up there yet, so this is one of the problems of playing without the mod that unlocks everything right away, is that I need to work with the space that I've been given. So I was thinking also that I'm really close to a milestone to get more space right here. So I'll get another square. I could expand across the river, get our downtown core going. I could also expand, grab this square right here, build up our residential areas. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some heavy industry on the west side of the river and heavy commercial on the other side of the river here, the east side. We're also going to have to see how this map expands. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work out. We'll definitely have a little bit of space over there. It's just a question of how much. There's a good chunk of land we'll be able to claim on the west side of the river. The east side, I'm not sure. The camera's not showing me as much as I would like here, so I think we'll be able to get at least 2 squares deep on the east side, hopefully. Anyway, let's get started here. And the first thing I wanted to do is, I'm not quite happy with this just quite yet. So rather than spare you guys the relatively painful process, well, slightly less painful than it could have been, of getting a road set up for a second station, we're going to get a second station set up right now. And we're going to it's not going to be a multi-platform end station. It'll be one of these, just a regular multi-platform station. And I think we'll put it right... well, first off, I'm going to get rid of that power line. Okay, good. I also built this backup power line for just such an emergency. Did that just before I started the video, along with building this avenue, because I wasn't sure quite how fiddly it would be. Turns out not nearly as fiddly as I thought. And we're going to put it back here. We're just going to give it a little bit of space. I think right here is good. And you know what, guys? I think we can go ahead and get rid of this little loop here as well. I don't really see a purpose per se for it. We can just kind of have this be a bit of a loop, or we can have it be a dead end. But I would like this to just be a straight... I would just like this to be Reed Avenue, or I'm going to rename it to something different. I'm going to call it Station Road now. So, let's see. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll cut off the end of Station Road. We'll just make it a dead end for now. We might do something a bit more fancy with that junction there, but that looks good. That way people can get off the train here. They can come down here. We do still have this little spur right here that'll connect the two. But I was thinking about trying to connect these together, and I think that might be a bit too much there. It might be a bit too much messing around with things, and also I don't know that it would be aesthetically pleasing when it's done. So we're going to do this. Get these all hooked up. And do this one. And I'm going to do whatever I can to make use of all the lines that I'm putting in here. I'm going to do my best to make sure that they're not just in there for show, because that would be very disappointing, I think, if they were just there for show. And I was also inspired to do one other thing. Now, first, we're going to go ahead and we're going to extend these over to the road. We're not going to do... Don't worry, guys. We're not going to do something stupid like this. Oh, wow, we can't even do that if we wanted to. Space already occupied. No, it will not let us do multiple level crossings. Which is probably a good thing, because that would be a total of 6 level crossings. So we can either go over or we can go under. So what we are going to do is we're actually going to go under. And we're going to just do that by making an overpass. Just a simple overpass. We'll get that set up. We'll get this. So we'll pitch it up. The game's packing up again. And give ourselves just a bit more space, just a skosh more space here. And we'll also put in the last railway line, just so we know what we're dealing with here. So it's a 180, perfect. I'll actually get them all in there, I think. If we do it that way, we'll at least know what we're dealing with. We'll know where the pier has to go for this, or the supports. So I'll do this. Yeah, because you see it's wreaking havoc with the supports, having it be like this. So, however, we can't put a support right here. At least we could originally. It gives us an immediate error when we put it there. It'll let us, but then it says no. Interesting. Alright, so I'm gonna attempt to try something a little different here. Keep it lined up with the existing road, but it demands a 3rd spot in the middle. That's what's causing the trouble. Alright, so if we were to page up a bit. No. Could always go under with either one of them. That would not be a problem. Also, we could just have it just jut out a little bit in the middle there. That would be fine too. But it appears to be just a skosh too wide. Now, how obnoxious does it have to be before we get one of these? And would that happen here? No. No, that will not happen here. Now if we have a 6-lane... So for a 6-lane to get a suspension bridge, could do something like that, but that's ridiculous. Alright, so I think this is going to be one of those times where I just time-lapse through this and take a look at what I can do to make this overpass work, because I definitely want an overpass. That is part of my vision. I do not want to just do a bunch of tunnels. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, there we go, folks. We've got a nice aesthetically pleasing overpass with a nice gentle slope. Just comes to a peak right here in the middle and then goes right back down. I like it. Looks aesthetically pleasing. Then we just had to do this one little adjustment to the track, which appears to not have any serious problems with impacting the other lines. So that's actually really good, because that means we can just tweak one of the two middle tracks every time we want to do an overpass. So that'll be very helpful, because we will have to do a lot of these. Anyway, let's continue where we left off here with the rest of this. So we've got this corridor. I'm wondering where would I like to put another station? Possibly by Holly Square here. Possibly near the end. Let's see. I do want the east-west corridor to extend way farther than what it's currently doing. So that's gonna pretty much mean that it's going to at least here. The region that I'm using is also way larger than it actually has to be. Oh, and also our station might require some sort of power, possibly even heat and water. Who would have thought? Let's get that hooked up. There we go. It's hooked up. It's ready to go. So far we just have the single train going down here to our shopping complex right down at the end there. And I think we'll get our second station. I guess we'll just draw the railway lines, honestly. We'll start with those. Keep an eye on those, make sure that it's a nice clean 180. And another one like so. Another one here. And we'll attempt to make some adjustments to the power lines. The power lines might actually be a serious problem. I think now that this station is built, we'll actually just use the station as a power transfer. I mean, I can try to get a power line across here, but I don't think that's gonna work. No, they'll want 3 towers. Alright. That's too bad. Keep all these tracks running together in parallel. And yeah, probably right around here would be a good spot for a station. I'll just plop down a region, a temporary region so I can see it, temporary district. So something right here. So the West Station's probably not going to be the last one. Hawthorne Heights, you're supposed to be called West Station. Alright, now we get to play again with the wonderful, glorious tools of trying to get a station set up here. So we're gonna get we'll run a one-way, we'll put it right around here. We'll do that, we'll see how it works. I don't think we'll need an avenue on this one. I might be very, very wrong, but I think we're okay with that one. And now it's getting dark. That's going to make things a little tricky. Multi-platform train station. Although, maybe not. That is almost perfect. I think that is actually perfect, guys. We just need to clean up a bit more stuff. So we plant that multi-platform train station. Where do we want it? Right here? Right here is probably good. Actually, no, we want it down here. And then that way we can... Let's actually get this... You know what, guys? I just had a flash of inspiration. I want to try something now. But first I do want to get that train station down, so I'm going to just put in what is essentially going to be a temporary road, just to get our everything lined up perfectly. So we're going to do this, and then this. And then we're going to... I don't want too many intersections. I want this to be a loop. I suppose what we can do is we can have it just jet off of this. Yeah, we're going to actually have to demolish some suburbia here for it. It's okay. Suburbia's going to go undergo a major facelift before this is done anyway. So the roads are completely out of whack, but that's okay. They're not going to stay this way. We're going to make some serious changes pretty soon. And I think we'll put the station right about here. Now then, the reason I wanted to... My flash of inspiration was that we're going to put a tram line going right by. And what that's going to do, it's not actually going to screw with our traffic. At least not that much, because there's 2 lanes for traffic and then there's a dedicated lane for trams. So that'll actually work. And if we want to later, we can upgrade it to a full-fledged monorail as well. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's get started with that tram line. What we're going to need to do... So we're going to need to actually demolish completely that road. And then we're going to have to go into the screen here, get the special tram option. And we're just going to have to, say, go right around here, I suppose. And that should hook us up nicely to the station. We're going to need to... do some upgrading on this one way. And we'll modify this into a nice boulevard with trees in the middle. And we will, and the people will hate us for this, but we'll modify that into a tramway. Alright, now we got that sorted out. Let's maybe try to get some appropriate, some picturesque scenic turns here coming up to the station. That's less picture. That is terrible. We're not doing that. This is not quite what I was hoping for. Can I maybe just shave a little bit off of the edge here? Looks like I can shave as much as I want off. There we go. It's not perfectly symmetrical. This is going to bother me. So we're going to move it. Like that. Maybe a bit more? That looks as perfect as we're going to get it. We're not going to allow intercity trains at this station. Wow, it's been raised quite a bit. Anyway, let's get our track hookups. Let's give ourselves just a bit more room now that everything is aligned. And there we go. So it looks like they have to take a bridge to get down. Oh god, it's hideous. Keeps on insisting on giving me that short little bridge. I don't want that. Gonna try to get some sort of control over this. So we'll do that by having it be raised till about here, and then it'll go down. We'll do that with each of them. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll look a bit better than it does right now. Suppose I could have just done this, maybe. No, I like the first one, actually. Just needs to do a few more adjustments. No. That needs to be shaved back a little. And then finally this one. There we go, that's actually perfectly symmetrical. Very good, very nice. Let's get some power and water to this. We don't have geothermal pipes in this area, so we'll go ahead and just do this. You know, since this is an offshoot of the main road, I think we'll go ahead and we'll zone it for some houses. Maybe throw down a little bit of commercial on the far side of the station. Actually, just throw a bunch of commercial around the station loop. Just right-click away those. And then just zone that entire area except for this, because that would look silly. Okay. Perfect. And we'll feed it power this way just for now until everything catches up to it. Get some of these streetcar stops sorted out. I think we'll just drop a couple additional stops along the way here. Say here and here. There we go. Perfect. And for the train, we'll set up a couple simple lines from point A to B and back. Just to get things moving along. Get a little bit of traffic on our railway network here. Alright, now then, let's see about growing the city. Oh, wait, there was one more thing we were gonna do. I was thinking that I really like the idea of this being a complete transportation corridor with tracks and everything. So I was thinking, what if we were to put a 2-lane highway right next to the railway tracks? I was actually playing around with this before I started the video, and I wanted to see how well it would work. Turns out it actually works pretty damn well. At least on this side. This side is a completely whole nother ball game. Yeah, we'll have to take a look at that. So if I was to do a double page up there, I could do it again here. I have to slightly adjust the area where the pier is there. But we do run into a little bit of trouble with that. I don't think it's anything we can't solve. Just need to make a few small adjustments to the track. Quite a few small adjustments to the track, I should say. Probably want to move the move the switch down a little bit further. There we go. Now we're running into some problems with the practicality of this. Well, I'm thinking for now I may just have to go ahead and drop this into a tunnel. Just do that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to leave that for now. And then we will have the railway just coasting right over the top of the tunnel entrance as close as possible. There we go. Let's do that for now. That's going to take a lot more work. And then... Actually, we don't want this to go down right away. We want to keep that at least one square up when we have it right here. Keep it going nice and tight. So we don't actually need that dip after all, so we can go ahead and demolish. We'll demolish that in a sec. And of course, again, we're running into problems with the bloody power lines. That's fine though, we can do this. We can still latch onto its footprint. Excellent. And now for the other side, there's happens to be a station in the way of this particular piece of the expressway. So I'm thinking, oh shit. There also happens to be a subway station in the way of the tunnel. Interesting. So I was thinking we could do something like this. That doesn't look like it's going to happen, so I guess we'll start a nice long run up to a tunnel, we'll say. Maybe start it about here. We'll do like a double... We'll do a double depth tunnel. Make it gradual, but not too gradual. That way we can bypass the subway station entirely. And move ourselves up to the surface. Right around the station. Or right around the bridge area. So that's not ideal, but it'll do. And then for this, we can simply bring it down here. Run it underneath the bridge like so. And perhaps we'll alternate there. What'll happen with this, I wonder? Yeah, what does happen if I do this? Oh! That is actually really kind of cool. I like it. So it just creates a cliff face, basically. I mean, I don't like this right there. That's kind of unsightly, but that is really nice. I like it a lot. And then for this one, we'll do pretty much the same thing. We can get rid of the power line. It was only supposed to be temporary anyway. We should have electricity hookups. Yep. We're good. So clean up the power line. Get this going down here. We'll create a tunnel entrance right here like so. Oh. So, because this is elevated, apparently that means there's no problem, which actually means we can get this tunnel entrance a little bit closer. Let's try that. let's give that a shot, folks. Go into underground mode, clean up a bit more of this. There we go. So that's going to mess with a piece of real estate, but I like that. Now, obviously, we got a lot of cleaning up to do with this highway. It's not even close to being functional, but it looks good so far. Alright, so that needs to be just... I want it to be just the slightest distance away. And there we go. Got our highway exit, and now this highway is paralleling the other highway, and eventually it'll connect, I assume. But for now, we'll just put in a temporary end of highway loop right here, like so. Now let's go ahead and fix it. It's got some stuff that needs fixing. So this is all right except for this. This entire thing is wrong. Peculiar. Well, for now we're going to leave that tunnel as... No, actually we're not going to leave that tunnel as is. We're going to page up and we're going to build a straight line right here for this. Make sure it's a good solid 180. Right up to the cliff face there. Is it going to give me a road guide at all? Be very nice to get a road guide of some sort right here. So if I was to do this straight... We'll assume that this is roughly taken over where my highway was. So we'll put it up to here. Do a curved portion again. Continue our descent into the industrial zone. With that piece. Okay. Now let's see if we can fix this so it's going in the correct direction. Space already occupied. Alright, you're gonna be sticky about it. Okay, fine. So now then, let's go ahead and make the change. There we go. Now let's see if we can't just reapply the railway. I can't see why not. I guess there was a slight difference in how we can safely get that switch hooked up because of it going up instead of down. Alright. Well, anyway, guys, that's the beginning of our highway. Once again, we have to put a pin in it because we do not have the other side of the river set up yet. So we're going to go ahead and get that set up so at least it's somewhat functional. And I just have the urge to build like a redonkulous interchange right here with the railway included and just have it be like this high. I think I'll save that for a future episode, guys. For now, there will be no interchange there. I will put some... I'll put some ramps right here for now. So put it here again. Actually, you know what? No, we have to put it on this side because of the tunnel. Okay. That's fine then. So we'll do something like this. Nice little on-ramp that curves underneath the bridge just before the tunnel. I don't suppose I can simulate a merge lane. Nope. We do not have the margin of error for that, unfortunately. Okay. What I've been doing, guys, in the game that I've been playing just on my own, is I've been experimenting with merge lanes with the new highway types. So, for example, for this right here, this is where I would want to show you the example. I'm talking about maybe just putting in one space of that. Now, if you actually get a mod, you can get proper merge lanes. But I'm just doing it like that so that when traffic comes in, that hopefully they'll be in that right lane, and then the traffic that's here will just all go to the left lanes, and everything will be good. And likewise, if I do something, say, here, it'll insist on traffic going in the right lane to exit. So that'll be good. So for this one, I'm actually going to just do that for the time being, and hopefully it doesn't make the roads look too hideous. No, that's too much. We just need the one square, that's all. Well, here we'll do two. And then for this, we'll just put it back down to a 3-lane for now. There we go. And we can do the same thing here as well. I doubt it's going to let us do the same thing here. Well, this is a 2-lane. So it'd be a different type of highway. Just be a 3-lane highway instead of the 4-lane highway. So do that just for a bit. Just let the traffic flow just a little better, hopefully. Just ever so slightly better. Here they seem really short, so I might actually... It's going to upset the... Yeah, you know what? Who cares? Screw the power lines. I can redo those power lines in a sec. That's a bit too much, so we'll Get rid of that. Crappy merge lanes in the cities sounds about right. So we do have a lot of work to do on these highways still. But this definitely looks a lot more complete than before. This side of the city center is coming along nicely. Now this is also going to be another part of the city center, which I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do with it. Do I want to have a highway that kind of goes along the river right through the downtown core, like the Gardiner Expressway in Toronto, for example? Or actually, I could do that. Yeah, now I'm thinking of things here, guys. I'm thinking run a couple of 2-lane divided highways down here. So 4-lane divided highway right here, technically, I guess. Right underneath the bridge. Do nice little interchange just once you get off the bridge immediately. That would be kind of cool. Lots of good ideas. Lots of good ideas. Anyway, let's get things going. Let's get the game going. So we're making 6,000 now. We've really overinvested in infrastructure quite a bit here. So I think it's time to get the city growing. Time to get things moving. Since we have the station here, we might as well use it. I'm going to, for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and put in, we'll say we'll put an overpass in for this. Just to minimize the effect on the retail footprint. We'll have it, say, go like this. Do something like so. Bridge doesn't have to be quite as long, though, I don't think. Could do maybe just a very gradual bridge. Yeah, so we'll get rid of this. And then we'll just have it go down. Little by little by little. And I'm not entirely sure what we'll do with the rest of the line. Anyway, we'll keep this light commercial for now. Go ahead and zone everything. I will probably live to regret zoning everything right next to the freight depot. But, well, it is what it is, folks. We will probably want to turn this into a one-way, otherwise this is going to be a street full of headaches later on. Turn it into a very nice one-way, but a one-way nonetheless. Oops. There we go. Now it's completed. Perfect. That area is growing nicely. Our little commercial area in the middle of nowhere right next to the forestry shacks. And we do actually have a good chunk of residential zoned here. People just don't seem to be wanting to come in at the moment. So we need 6,000 more people. Let's take a look at our policies here. Probably want to throw on recycling just to reduce trash. Taxation. Yeah, we do have city planning right now, so we've got the high-tech housing. We can encourage bicycling. That's not going to cost us anything. I do, however, want to get some water here. That would be helpful. Suppose we can get rid of this unnecessary pipe here. Speaking of water, you know, Station Road is actually well watered. Very good. And people are slowly moving in here. Good. I wonder maybe if I couldn't... I wonder if I can maybe get some of those squares to be synchronized with the rest of the city, or with the rest of this area. I'm not going to leave that as an intersection, I just want to have this as a guide road. I think we'll maybe do something to here, but not all the way in. So that would be pretty much filling everything in. This would be more so along the lines of what I'm trying to do with leaving a bit of space in between, as with this. Then the problem yeah, there's a few problems. One of which is that it's not quite perfect. That, do that. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this street. Put in that road just to get an idea of where we should put this road. Get rid of that. This would be the second part of that. Actually, you know what? We'll do a connection here, but no connections anywhere else. And we'll clear these. So it's not going to be quite as aesthetically pleasing as those other squares, but it'll do the job. And then finally, we're going to clean that off, and we're going to clean that off. But not before we bring this right up to the edge here. And we'll get another path. We'll get a few paths in here, actually. Damn, I thought that would actually work. There we go, that works. do that, then it doesn't look as hideous. It looks like a big arrow, a big ridiculous arrow. You know what? We're doing that for both of these. Both sides of this street. And for now, we're just going to stick with light residential. We won't get it too heavy, not just quite yet. And we'll get some water in here as well, which is probably easily solved just by hooking up to this main, actually. How's education in this area? It's actually... Our education is amazing at the moment, considering the size of our city. We have no university as of yet. We're going to have to work on that, because I am going to want those highly educated workers. Possibly a job for next video, finding a decent place for a university square. Anyway, guys, these two landfills are empty, so we're going to destroy those. Going to empty these into the incinerators as well. Get rid of those. So we can get some more industrial zones right here. Perfect. Let's take a quick look at our intersections before we go here. Yeah, that's not gonna fly. Price Boulevard. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. If we want to, we can just throw down a stop sign here to make sure that the through traffic gets through. And no. There we are. Don't want any traffic lights jeopardizing, or we want as few traffic lights as possible jeopardizing things. This is kind of a major intersection, so maybe we do want a traffic light there. We'll keep an eye on things. Our traffic is at 90% right now. Granted, our city is... This is microscopic compared to what I'm planning on doing. Average health 60%. You know what we should do? We should probably put a sauna in here. Maybe put a sauna, maybe a medical place as well. And I'm thinking for now, I may regret this later, I'm thinking we maybe just throw down a cemetery at the very end here. These guys are just going to go straight on the highway. Very good. Yeah, those lanes aren't working out exactly as I hoped. What's going on here? Right, this temporary junction that I was eventually just going to get rid of entirely. You know what, guys? Let's go ahead and kill this junction. We don't need it anymore. We have this interchange right here, and we have this one up here. So we're going to go ahead and just get rid of this. No more cars can come off here. that as well. And that's the end of White Highway. There we go. We shall see how that affects our traffic. Got sound barriers up here. We should probably increase the sound barriers. Because this is, honestly, this is probably pretty damn noisy. Let's see if we can find a noise pollution icon. Yeah, it's very loud. Train station's extremely loud, but it tapers off pretty much perfectly. Look at that. The noise pollution just goes away right around there. So here, these guys are going to get a lot. These guys are going to get an earful. But the commercial businesses, they don't care. It's going to be a high traffic area. So they'll be nice and happy. Oh! Our cemetery has no power. That's a bit of a problem. Let's get that hooked up. How about water? Water they're good for. Alright, let's take a look at our traffic, folks. Traffic has gone down by 6% by getting rid of that. Although, potentially that's just confusion as a result of not having the highway come out right here. We'll see. No, it's also because this interchange is not that great. 83%. It's kind of hovering. It's kind of hovering. I did make traffic worse, though, by getting rid of that. That is something to remember. Here's a question. Why is that? Do I have a stop sign there? No. And if not, should I? Probably not for now. Traffic's moving beautifully here. And we've got a tremendous demand for more commercial. Which I'm kind of trying to hold off on because I want to get that, I want to get this area expanded too. So I think that's going to be my next square grab, is either this one. No, it's going to have to be this one. This one has the entire corridor attached to it and the highways. So this square will be next. And people are getting pissy about the dead not being picked up. Alright. How is our... Maybe we'll drop another one of these right now? Yeah, we'll do that. Another cemetery. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to throw down a cut right here. I think this one's gone on for long enough. So, Next time, we'll get the city grown up to the necessary size to grab that square on the other side of the river, and we will design ourselves a nice downtown. And we will, of course, be bringing the railway corridor along for the ride, and we will have a lovely... Actually, what we really need here is we need another station over just before the bridge. So we'll build that next time as well, just so we can get a nice, very nice station right next to the industrial zone. We may have to reconsider this freight station, though. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. I'll see you next time.